Hey everyone, welcome to today's Using Technology Better show. We're glad that you're able to watch this show. Today we've got a really exciting show for you, all about coding for kids. And so we want to really dive into this topic, get an understanding of what is coding for kids, and also why should we want to use this with our students. As a teacher, I've just watched this bubble away a little bit, and to be honest, not really understood it. For me, maybe my mindset has been a little bit that coding is for like really smart people and it's way beyond my league. But obviously that's not the case because lots of young children are getting into it. I've started to see some great examples of it. So I'm really excited to be able to learn. As always, I've got my co-host with me, Blake. Blake, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very well, very well. Really enjoying the winter weather here in Melbourne. Just perfect. But yeah, going very well, mate. I'm pretty excited about this as well. We've got Peter Argent here, who is the director of the Code Factory and also the founder of Code Club Australia. And he's going to be at our Using Technology Better conference in late September, early October. And he's going to be running a strand on Code for Kids and how it works in your classroom. And he's here to talk about that today. And just on our conference as well, I might just pull up our website. Just to give everyone a quick overview of sort of what it's all about, just before we dive straight in. Do you want to talk around that for a sec, Mark?
Yeah, sure. We're really excited about the conference. Blake and I have spoken at a number of technology conferences. Blake, sometimes from that IT manager's point of view, and for me, from a teaching and learning pedagogy point of view. And I guess one of my frustrations has been, as a presenter, that quite often teachers will come and they'll choose a 1 hour session with me, and as an elective then they'll go and do another elective somewhere else, and by the end of the conference generally people are feeling a little bit overwhelmed, certainly inspired, but I find that when I go back and I check with teachers how the implementation has been, it hasn't been that great. And so whilst they've come and they've seen and they've been inspired, there's not that much change in the classroom. I guess they go back wondering what to implement, and then the next question is, well, how do I implement? And so we've really designed this conference a little bit differently, where there is certainly electives that you can choose, and those electives range in a whole range of things, from using Minecraft in education, how to use Google Apps with your students, how to use Microsoft in Windows 8, and obviously coding for kids, how to get one of those clubs up and running in your school. But the whole idea is that as participants, what happens is that you get to choose a conference and then stay with that conference all day, and really get a time to immerse yourself in the tool, the technology, the pedagogy that goes behind it, and then hopefully walk away with some resources created, an implementation plan, and all your questions answered. And so, Blake, I've just pulled your screen up, and we can see the start of the screen just there.
Cool. So, yeah, this is the website, just to give everyone a bit of an overview of what it's all about. I think Mike's pretty well wrapped it up. We're in Mariah College in Sydney on the 29th of September to the 30th of September. It's a 2-day conference whereby you can select 2 strands, one each day, follow them through, build some good materials that you can start applying straight away when you get back to the classroom. Our second conference runs in Adelaide just a few days afterwards, on October the 2nd and the 3rd. You can obviously book here, and there's plenty of information on the strands, on all the interesting stuff you can learn about, and each one of these has a little video link as well, so you can click into those and watch a couple of minutes just about what's going to be covered in those particular strands. So there'll be a few other things running throughout the day, a few keynotes. You have some big names in education coming out to talk throughout the days. All the running sheets down the bottom, and yeah, when you're ready to book, just hit the book now button and put your name down on the Google form. So without further ado, I suppose we might want to talk about Pete's strand, who he's running actually in conjunction with Annie Parker, and I believe Annie is a founder. Is that right, Pete?
Yeah, that's right. She found out that I was interested in getting some kids coding started, and yeah, she got in touch, and we got this happening.
Yeah, fantastic. So let's sort of start at the beginning. What is Code Club all about? Like, is it an Australian initiative? Where did it come from?
So it's originally coming from the UK. It's been there for a year and a half or so now, to great success, and it was started by a school teacher who saw the benefits of and what kids could be able to do by learning to code. So yeah, she started a program, and now it's gone worldwide. And used in many countries, and yeah, we've just started last term here in Australia as a pilot program to see how we could run it, and yeah, about to roll it out on a bigger scale.
Fantastic. So how has the trial gone? I mean, what do you do? Mike was saying, he's sort of always thought of this stuff being really complex and very difficult. I mean, I've heard about primary school kids getting in on this.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's aimed at primary school kids, actually. It's mostly 10-year-olds in the classes that we've been running, but there's even tools that help younger kids from as young as 6 start to learn the concepts of coding, and it's a great tool because it's actually created by the main tool that's used in the Code Club program is a program called Scratch, and it's created by MIT University in the US, and so there's the Code Club program just has a whole bunch of projects that the kids can build, and any teacher can sort of learn the basics and be able to lead their kids through it.
Sure. So it starts with Scratch, and then what do they get out of that? Like, what do they create with Scratch exactly?
So Scratch is a really colourful drag and drop style programming toolkit. It allows kids to they create games really. It's they use characters and backdrops, and then using scripts to control animations and what happens, and it's great because they learn about coding concepts without even knowing that they're learning. It's just following these instructions, and they learn how to use programming concepts and also debug their programs too. If something doesn't quite work like it's meant to, they have to sort of try to figure out what's gone wrong.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm just looking at your background behind you, and I'm just thinking it doesn't look like you're sitting in a classroom. So tell me a little bit about where you are and what you do for work and why you're interested.
Yeah, sure. Well, I actually run the Coder Factory. It's a coding school for anyone. Actually, we do teach school kids as well as part of Code Club, but also adults. So anyone who wants to build apps for themselves or learn how to code and to help them in their career, we provide weekend workshops as well as long-term advanced courses as well. We're a big believer in taking coding mainstream. That the world will be a better place if more people knew how to code. So that's why we're right behind Code Club AU and getting kids started early.
Yeah, right. And I guess let's just have a look at the big picture. Help me understand this, because I understand coding, I understand that you maybe build games, apps, and so on. But at the end of the day, why? Why is it so important? Why are they saying that this is going to be the #1 field for students when they leave school in the coming years? I mean, what's the big picture around this?
Sure. Well, I mean, everyone uses apps and technology these days, but very few know actually how they work. There's what's possible with technology to make our lives better, more efficient, solve problems. I mean, that's what computer apps do. I mean, even using Facebook, it's trying to solve a problem for humans. More people understanding what's possible with technology, but even not if they become a professional developer or coder, even if they just understand how it works, what's going on, whatever career they might take, whether it's medicine or accounting or finance or hairdressing, if they understand what technology can do, they will be able to, if they don't build it themselves, they'll be able to work with someone to build better apps and technology that helps them in their work and also in other people in their lives. So it's about getting the human race to a point in the future where technology provides for everything. That we don't need to work to survive, because apps and robots and machines provide our food and shelter and all that sort of stuff. So it's a bit of an idealistic sort of utopian idea, but that's what it's all about.
So how far away do you think we are from that?
Well, I'm a bit of a futurist and I'm optimistic, so maybe 20, 30 years would be great.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got huge potential, and I certainly see that in my role. You know, being able to dabble around and automate things and code out small projects, it just opens a world of possibilities. And I guess this is what your project's sort of getting at, isn't it? So saying when you enter the workforce, you're looking to have students that are, you know, really capable of automating processes, of taking things to that next level. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, too much nowadays. People just do things, use their spreadsheets, use these processes that just because that's the way it's always been done, and they don't know what technology how it could possibly make it better. So yeah, having an understanding of coding and what's possible, those things will change faster.
And certainly getting kids at a young age is interesting, because one of the things that's interesting about coding, I find, is almost if you can think of it, you can build it. It's almost that crazy, you know, but we always find ourselves just replicating a paper-based system into code. Be interesting, like, do you see these younger kids in the primary years coming up with ideas that just blow you away?
Definitely, even from the Code Club programs, they have instructions to follow, but they always go above and beyond and create something that I never thought, you know, as a part of what they were trying to do. So they're constantly surprising me. The other great benefits from learning to code for kids as well is the problem-solving aspect. They learn about that, you know, no problem is so hard that it can't be solved, and that applies to so many other things in life, you know. But also it gives them a self-confidence too, and a joy that there's a joy in solving a problem that is hard, and you had to work hard to try to find the answer. So, and that's part of what coding's all about, and why I fell in love with it in the first place too.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great topic. So tell me about, you know, if I'm a teacher, I'm in a primary school and I want to do this course, like, and I know nothing about technology. How on earth would I do this, you know?
Well, that's the great thing about the Code Club program. The projects that the kids get to do every week, it's just like a 1 hour project every week, and the steps are all there, and it's color-coded blocks that you're dragging and dropping. You know, anyone with basic computer skills it can work through this. Sure, there are some computer concepts going on there, but you don't need to be aware of them to be able to complete these projects and to learn from them. Sure, you can, if you're wanting to teach your kids some more of those concepts, there's plenty of resources available, both on the Scratch site and the Code Club site, so you can go into a bit more background, but even just on the surface, going through those projects, both the teacher and students learn.
Cool. So it's a structured process whereby you just follow the steps that are provided to you, or do you just log into a website? How does that work?
So it's two, yeah. There's a project with steps, and then you log into the Scratch website, and you can just create there. You don't even need to create an account. You can just start using the tools, and yeah, totally free and open source, so no costs involved to anyone. Yeah, and even all the project materials are available for anyone around the world to have a go at.
Yeah, fantastic. So in the conference, obviously, you want to run a strand. You're going to be running a strand on this. You're going to get people actually, you know, getting their hands dirty and in there and coding.
Yeah, definitely. We'll run the teachers through, you know, the first couple of exercises or the first couple of projects that come with Code Club. That will just give them the level of confidence that they need to be able to go back and get their kids doing it. You know, it's there's no rocket science involved at all. It's something that the teachers will enjoy doing, and they will. You know, that the kids will definitely enjoy. It's always the highlight of my week, going out to the school and, you know, these great 10-year-olds loving coding. So it's and girls and guys and all different types, and it's yeah, really good to see.
Yeah. So if I'm a teacher and I'm interested in it, how much do I need to have as a prerequisite, prior knowledge, and so on? What do I need to be able to come along and feel like I'm not going to be out of my depth?
Just as if you know how to use a web browser and fill out, you know, yeah, just doing general internet activities these days. If you are comfortable with that, you can do this. There's no prerequisites at all. I suppose, you know, when you want to relate it back to your kids in class, depending, you know, if it's an out of school thing and it doesn't really matter, but if it's something that you would want to align with your teaching or your curriculum. There's definitely some thinking around, like, yeah, how does this relate to what I'm teaching the kids elsewhere? But that's usually quite easy as well. We'll cover some of those things in the conference too.
Yeah, right. So you'll be able to link that back to where their teaching and learning is already happening. So when people do Code Club, do they usually link that like inside a classroom lesson time? Is it something that runs during the school lunch break, after hours? How does it usually run?
Yeah, so during a pilot program, we've just let the school decide when they want to do it, and it has always been outside of school. A volunteer, the kids are volunteers, the teacher volunteers, and we also send along some coder volunteers as well, just for support
Nice.
in the beginning. And yeah, so it's usually done either before school, at lunchtime, or after school.
Mm. Yeah. And that's a good point. What happens if they get stuck? Is there assistance? Is there some kind of support for them, or how does that work?
Well, there is. We have a weekly meeting with all the people involved, so they can let each other know if there's any what they've experienced or any challenges. But it's the way it's almost foolproof the way it's been set out. So yeah, it's pretty hard to get stuck.
Yeah, right. And so in terms of cost, I'm just interested if there was a school that was watching this and they would say, hey, I'd like to be a part of it. One, I know you've said it's a pilot. Are people able to join and get started? Is there like a waiting time? Do you do it in batches? How's that work in terms of timing and cost, for instance?
Yeah, anyone can do it. They can contact us if they need support to help get it started. But the materials are also all available from our website. You can link the links to the projects for the kids and also to the Scratch program that's used. Yeah, it's all there, freely available for anyone to take on.
Yeah, right. And so if you're at school in the US, for instance, they can still go to the Code Club Australia website, get all the resources and just get started?
That's right. There's actually also a Code Club World site, which I'll just put it through there, codeclubworld.org, and that has, even has the projects in different languages. So
wow.
English speaking, yeah.
So thinking a little bit outside the box, even if you had some students and you wanted them to be able to do it in a different language in Australia, that would be available as well.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, right. Excellent. And so I guess in terms of teachers looking at this is just for primary school students. I know you said you're talking around students who are about 10 years old and so on. What's the age ranges available?
Yeah, it's aimed at ages probably 9 to 12. You could start them a little bit younger, and you could probably take them a little bit older. I have seen it being used in a high school for 14, 15-year-olds, and they still enjoy it and make great games. But there's also actually part of Code Club some progression. So the first term, there's 4 terms at the moment of 8 to 10 weeks each. The first one is like basic beginner Scratch, then is an advanced Scratch. Then it even starts teaching them in the third term HTML, web design, creating websites, and then also Python language as well, which is using the command line interface, which does start to get more technical, but it allows for that progression as well as kids get older.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. I just got some questions just around how far you can go with it. I mean, like a lot of this is sort of just around games and stuff like that. Are you diving deep into, real programming in terms of, like, you're talking about Python there being a real language. How far does it go?
Yeah, so they learn the basics like of logic and variables and so a lot of those sort of programming concepts throughout Scratch. But it's not until they get to the, I suppose, Python stage that they really start to see that in a real language, programming language, as opposed to just colored shapes. So that is definitely taking them to the next level, and also opens up their mind to what they might like to do, whether it is building websites and being a web developer, or seeing how Facebook is built and understanding what's going on behind the browser. So and then you can see that there's Internet of Things with Raspberry Pi options as well, because that uses Python, and so you can always take the kids down that route. So I've seen that in schools where they do some robotics using Raspberry Pi, and so that's a progression from there as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're doing a similar thing here at McKinnon with Raspberry Pis and Python and getting kids on that learn to code. I think they were using Code Academy, some of their resources as well. So there's heaps of stuff out there. I guess about having that structure around it, which is what you guys are for, giving those materials with the structures. I think it's just a fantastic little project you got going on here. It's really exciting.
Yeah, that's right. There is, because that is a problem with for some people. Like, there are so many choices out there. What do you do, and how do you teach it? And so it's really good. This Code Club has been, these projects have been put together. A lot of hard work's been put into it, so that it makes it easy for us to take kids through. And the progression starts off nice and easy, and just gets more fun and harder as they go. So
yeah. And I think it's funny because you say this all started from England, and then you followed it over. But apparently, coding now is mandatory in all schools across the UK. Is that true?
Yeah, that's right. From this semester, from the starting of this semester, it's mandatory over there. So it's great to see that. It's starting to happen around the world. There's other countries which really support it, like Vietnam, Estonia, and it's starting to make its way into different schools in the States as well. So it's good to, and we hope to, get some sort of movement in that area here in Australia too.
Yeah, absolutely. And is it a true fact that there's there are hundreds of thousands of jobs that can't be filled by software engineers? Is that true?
Well, it definitely is in the US. There's a huge demand for people coming out of the coding schools over there, which are not universities. They're just private coding schools where in 3 months you can learn how to code and become a web application developer. The same is starting to happen here. I get calls every week from tech startups and people in businesses needing developers. Even though sometimes our government says that there is no shortage in the IT sector, we're not quite sure where they're looking, because there is a lot of shortage for developers and people in technology here as well.
And I think there needs to be a clear line there between IT and software engineering. I think they're very different things. IT is such a huge umbrella term, isn't it? But the software engineering side interests me, because every small startup that I speak to in Australia, they can't find anyone. Everyone gets overbidded because they go to the States or they go somewhere else. So I think if you're looking at careers, especially for your kids, or looking at careers yourself as a student, it's a pretty safe option to be a software engineer.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there was a huge rush to do IT at the beginning of the century, but then all of a sudden that first .com bust happened, and everyone sort of got scared, and it hasn't really recovered. Like, universities are not pushing out, don't have enough IT students, and even I suppose there's a bit of controversy about that too, in the sense that unless you want a job at a corporate, you shouldn't go to university to do IT, because they don't teach you necessarily the skills that you need to work in a startup or as a developer. So that's why there is this sort of growing demand for coding schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Hey, I mean, I heard people talking about coding for kids, and to be honest, I used to think it was just like two people like you and Blake who'd be hanging out and chatting about it and fizzing out on all this technology stuff. And for me as a classroom teacher, I didn't really feel like I had a part to play in that, or even needed to even look at it. It wasn't until I heard Sally Ann Williams from Google talking about Code Club for Australia and why teachers were getting on board and students were on board, and started hearing some of that statistics. And she was saying things like, in the UK, coding now is mandatory for all students, and so all teachers have to be able to teach coding, and how Australia was starting to fall behind in that. And just little things like that caught my attention in terms of just teaching and learning, pedagogy, the engagement side of things. So it's caused me to get off my bum and have a look and find out what this really is, and not been hiding behind this, I guess, 1990 models of technologies for smart people who like ones and zeros, and not necessarily for people like me, which kind of sounds funny as someone who does a lot of work and consulting in IT, but my focus has never really been the IT technical side of it. It's always been about the teaching and learning and how to integrate it. And so I'm really excited about this aspect coming to our schools now that I understand a little bit about it. I think we're starting to get some acceptance in society around it. It's not this airy-fairy thing that a few nerdy kids do. It's becoming mainstream. And so I think for teachers, it's well worth their time exploring, to take a day out to try and find out about it, and then to be able to empower their students to do it. I think that would be a great investment of time. I'm interested, Peter, what do you tell your mum that you do when she says, "What have you done today?" What do you say about that?
Well, yeah, no, she's very supportive of my vision and goals. You know, she knows I'm a bit of an idealist, and yeah, so yeah, just tell her I've been teaching people to code, and it's a really rewarding job. I mean, getting to see people's eyes light up when it all starts to fall into place for them in their mind, and all of a sudden they see all the possibilities that are in front of them. You know, they can build anything they want now, and yeah, that's just really great to be a part of that. There are just so many opportunities out there for technology and applications, and we're only seeing the very beginning of this technological revolution ahead of us. You know, there's just so many opportunities. Anyone who uses a spreadsheet, there should be an app for that. You know, that's one thing right there. So there's so many different things that can be built to help our lives and help in our work, help us communicate better. So it's very exciting to be a part of it.
Yeah, oh, that's great. Mate, we appreciate your time this afternoon and just sharing a little bit about your knowledge, certainly about your passion. That's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to meeting you in a couple of months in Sydney and in Adelaide, and just seeing what comes out of your sessions and your strands. It's going to be really great. And I'm just so glad that we've got this strand as part of the conference. I would never have imagined of putting it in there initially. But I'm really excited at the fact that it's there. So thanks for your time this afternoon. Really do appreciate it. Blake, is there anything you want to add before we sign off for today's show?
No, it's been really good, and I just like that this shift and this change of thinking towards sort of getting people into coding and not seeing it as this dusty old thing that, you know, it perhaps was when I went to school, but something's a bit more exciting, and I'm just always shocked at how well the kids pick it up. I mean, they just love it. Like, they get in there, and it's as engaging to them as it is playing a game. You know, they really love it. So, yeah, I mean, technology is the future, and like you say, you know, it's going to be totally different now to what it's going to be in 10 years, and hopefully in 20 years again. And we're just at the start of it. I know a teacher here bought in an Oculus Rift the other day, and for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's these goggles that you wear on your face and have a look around, and just the reactions he got out of people was astounding. People literally were stopped in their tracks saying, wow, like, this is the next level. This is something totally different, and how can we use it? So, yeah, it's never fails to get me excited. But thanks again for your time, Pete. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see some of these, what comes out of the conference in your strands. It's going to be great.
Yeah, thanks very much, Blake and Mike, for having me. It's been great.
Excellent. Well, Peter's given me a whole lot of, I guess, different links for you to show, a couple of YouTube videos and so on. So we're going to put together some show notes for this video and also a transcription as per usual. So have a look at the website, which is usingtechnologybetter.com, and find this blog post that we're there with the video, the transcription, and all the show notes. And of course, you can register for the conference at usingtechnologybetterconference.com. We'll see you next fortnight when we have a chat with another person about what they're doing in education and how we can help you better motivate, manage, and engage your students with the use of technology. We'll see you next time.